So, let's talk all about that exciting new trailer for the upcoming superhero sequel where the good guys take time off from fighting the bad guys to fight each other for some reason. No, the other upcoming superhero sequel where the good guys take time off from fighting the bad guys to fight each other for some reason.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham.
There we go, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the movie that deigns to answer the question, can Warner Brothers simultaneously launch a DC cinematic universe branching out from Man of Steel, while also making people forgive or forget Man of Steel being a really bad movie? WB has a lot invested in this project succeeding, since they're already in production on a long line of spin-offs and sequels for a Justice League franchise and solo films for its various members, even though it's not entirely clear whether or not audiences actually want a whole run of movies built around grim, gritty reimaginings of what used to be the sunnier brand of superheroics. Apparently, they're so anxious to make sure everyone wants to see this, they've taken the bold step of cutting a trailer that seems to give away the entire plot of the film, including a few bits that feel like they might at some point have been meant as a surprise. Don't believe me? Go watch the trailer and tell me if you don't feel like you've already watched the whole movie. Superman and Batman have an issue with each other, Lex Luthor nudges Batman into trying to fight the Man of Steel, it doesn't totally work out, so Luthor makes something even worse, and they have to team up and fight it, and oh hey, here's Wonder Woman, presumably having not revealed herself as a superhero before this point. I'm getting the sense that's pretty much the movie. I mean, the whole point to this film is that these guys are fighting, and the trailer gives away when they'll choose to stop fighting, why they do, what they're teaming up against, and what looks and feels a lot like the reveal of the third big character. That's kinda nutty. I mean, what else could this movie possibly do to surprise anybody? Anyway, my big takeaway is that, yeah, this actually looks like a lot of fun and more pure, uncompromised Zack Snyder movie than the self-serious slog that Man of Steel was, but it also looks surprisingly simplistic plot-wise. I mean, let's not mince words here. These things are, fairly or not, playing catch-up to the Marvel movies, and it'll be kinda strange if this really does just end up rehashing heroes fight, oh no, a monster, we're friends now. Sure, that was more than adequate for the Avengers, but that's because no one had ever tried to do a movie like that before. Is this too little, too late as a narrative? Maybe. Also, while I really dig the high-contrasty Jim Lee-esque look of the whole thing, and I think this is probably the best live-action Batman costume ever, even if I'm not a Small Ears fan, I'm not sure that trying to imitate the Frank Miller Dark Knight brick shithouse look is working for them. I don't know, I get the logic, but Batman is supposed to be basically a ninja, so it's weird that he's way more jacked than Superman is. Just saying. And then there's the new Lex Luthor. Alright, look, I get that it's a reimagining, and to be honest, I've never really liked any version of the post-crisis corporate bad guy Lex, so whatever. And I know the whole point is supposed to be the brain guy versus the brawn guy, but it looks ridiculous to have a Lex Luthor who'd get his ass kicked by a normal Clark Kent. More substantively, this whole thing where every corporate bad guy in movies has to be a takeoff on Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg to make some kind of topical point about Silicon Valley and the tech sector is seriously played out, and someone needs to find a new angle. I mean, not that they could have known this at the time, but with a real-life supervillain running for president of the United States right now, this is going to be a really dated bad guy reference by the time it comes out. And then there's Doomsday. Finally, both of DC's lame, boring 90s death event villains have made it to the big screen. Yay? To be honest, I could care less that he has a radically new origin for this movie, because Doomsday's comic origin was stupid because Doomsday is a terrible character and the only remotely interesting things about the death of Superman came after his part. I get that Death and Nightfall were books that either got a lot of people started reading or backed into reading comics, so memories of them can be understandably skewed, but no, sorry, no. So, will this movie be any good? I feel like it will, even if it won't be what a lot of people want it to be. It looks like 90s comics the movie, and as bad as 90s comics largely were, there was a certain undeniable, dumb, trashy, roid-ragey, pissed-off and or horny teenage idiot energy or charm to the era that's never been precisely captured in a movie before. And while I totally sympathize with DC fans who prefer to see their favorite heroes get the more reverent, source-respectful treatment the Marvel Universe has been getting, there is some novelty here, and it'd be boring if both superhero universe franchises were using the same template. So will this work? Your guess is as good as mine. We'll find out in 3 months.